Yo, my hair is back. I know that I was tweeting like a year ago. I was like, my hair is thinning. Was it a year ago? It might have been 2 years ago. But look at this. Is it giving? Is it giving Kennedy? Is it giving JFK though? No, this is great. My hair be getting thicker, mama. My hair's getting thicker because I'm back at the gym. We are in the middle of week 3 at the gym. And if you want my gym routines and you're a dude and you want to get into, shape, it's beginning of the year, New Year's Eve, New Year's resolutions, whatever. I'm going to link it below. Body by Amini. Body by Amini. Body by Amini? Whatever. Go check it out. It's $10 for my workout program. $10. You don't have to pay for a pesky trainer that'll cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year. Just download my gym workout. Now, you're gonna have to push yourself, okay? Like, you're gonna have to work out to the point where you feel exhausted and tired, because that's how you get a hot body. You don't get a hot body, at least for me anyway. I have to push myself. So download my workout regimen. It costs $10. 10 smackaroos. And that would be an amazing guide. I mean, you can make adjustments from there. If you don't like doing step-ups or lunges, you can do something else. If you don't like, table bench press, then you can do dumbbell bench press. You can interchange and switch things up. And all the exercises you can teach yourself on YouTube. Just take your little phone to the gym, teach yourself how to set your back. It's really important to learn how to set your back. Don't hunch over when you do weights. And when you're doing legs, make sure you keep your weight on the heels all the time. When you're doing squats, light on the toes, heavy on the heels. And you're gonna have to stick your butt out, okay? Yes, it's uncomfortable, especially if you're a top and you're not used to doing that. Cheers! Body by Amini, get into it. I'm week 3 into it and my hair's getting thicker, which is nice. I'm just feeling better in general. I'm feeling more confident. The body's not getting snatched yet. I've still got a little bit of belly fat, but whatever. I know that eventually in due time, if I stay consistent with it, I'm going to get back to where I was. But I'm just enjoying my body feeling stronger. I don't think it's healthy or normal to try to go after an aesthetic, because if you think about it, that's just not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's body is different. You can work out all you want and all you can and look amazing, or you can work out all you want and all you can and look pretty average. What's important is accepting your body and loving your body and feeling strong inside your body. Yeah. That's what I'm telling myself these past few weeks is I just want to get strong. I want to feel strong again. I want to be able to crush skulls with my hand. I want to be able to throw a punch and really do some damage if I need to. But yeah, check that out. Is that noise pollution bad? Should I don't know. But yeah, don't strive for looking a certain kind of way, because you're always going to be disappointed. It's yeah. Do you know what I mean? You do what you can do, right? You go to the gym, you watch what you eat, you indulge in moderation, and then at the end of the day, you look into the mirror and you stand in front of it satisfied, because hey, I'm trying the best I can, and with me covering all my bases, pushing myself at the gym, eating correctly, and being as consistent as I can look in the mirror and be satisfied with what looks back at me, knowing that I'm doing everything that I can. I think disappointment creeps in when we know that we're not trying our best. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me right now, I'm just looking in the mirror, pretty happy and satisfied with what I see. Is it my best body? No. But I did take 3 months off, so I need to be patient. And even still, like, I get back into shape pretty quickly. I mean, I started and I weighed 80 kgs. I'm now up to 84.2. I don't think that was 4 kilos of fat that I put on. I actually think I put on 4 kilos of muscle. I don't know. Polynesians, we just look at weights and our muscles. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we just look at weights and we're like already beginning to bulk up. So I'm getting back to that fight weight. Getting back to that fight weight with the Kennedy hair. With this Polynesian Kennedy hair. Polynesian. Oh, you like that? Okay, so that's my first thing, Body by Amini. Tick. Alright, the next subject I would like to broach with you, which will probably be the final subject that I broach with you. There was this video going viral on TikTok, and I actually talked about this on my Instagram stories last night. But I was like, you know what, let me put it in my YouTube video, because I think this is best discussed in the YouTube video. There's like a video, I know this is like a bit of a leap, do you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to like stay with me when it comes to the mental gymnastics with this one. But when it comes to like, when it comes to LeBron James's wife, right? Like, there's a video going viral right now of LeBron James's wife, like, refusing to take photos with men. She doesn't take photos with men, male fans of the NBA, but she will take photos with women, right? And I find that really interesting. And like, Twitter was obviously having a bit of a field day with it because they were trying to like, I don't know, we were just like, it was in the sort of discourse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was in the discourse online. Black Twitter is like big. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Black Twitter is Twitter in a lot of ways. And it was just like really interesting discussions because it was like, I mean, so many different things. Like, everyone was like, yeah, that's a high value man and that's his wife. So of course she's not going to disrespect him like that. Do you know what I mean? Why do motorbikes have to have that engine? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is up with that? Anyway, what I'm saying is like, it was just like an interesting discussion. I thought it was a really interesting perspective, right? LeBron's wife doesn't take photos with men. She takes photos with women, you know, but she will not take photos with men. And I find that really interesting. And I don't know, I'm like, is that something that she decided of her own volition? Hey, you know what? I'm not going to take photos with dudes out of respect to my husband. Or is that something that he asked her? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is that something that he was like, you know what? I don't feel very comfortable with you taking photos with dudes, like strangers. And I don't know. It's just, it leads me a lot. It just like leads me down this path. And I think like, it's okay. Like, it's okay in relationships to have boundaries. I think that's like really important. I mean, I'm sounding like Kourtney Kardashian. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. It's okay to have boundaries. And like, I think this is something like, so like gay relationships, right? Like, they've all been kind of hidden throughout time and through history. And now this is where we make like the mental leap, because I know you guys are probably not going to follow me. But like, I think, you know, I personally have a lot of respect for LeBron after that. I'm not a LeBron James fan. You know, like I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm also not like anti-LeBron either. I'm very LeBron neutral. Let's just put it that way. But I do have a lot of respect for him after seeing that. Um, but I also know and I recognize it's probably not a two-way street. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he takes photos with female fans because he has to, and he's like marketable, and like being marketable depends on being liked, and likability is tied to marketability. One could argue it might be changing, it might be different. Who knows? I don't really care. What I do know is that I have a lot more respect for him after seeing that video because, yeah, like that is his wife, and yeah, she's not a public figure. He's a public figure. He needs to take photos with his fans because that's kind of like your duty as a sports star and a public figure. Now, if you are not a public figure, right? Like, I don't even know LeBron James's wife's name. Like, I don't know her name, which is very anti-feminist of me, but I don't know her name. And that's not why we know her. We don't know her because she's some successful, model or businessman, or like, she's not a public figure. So she doesn't owe the public shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? She doesn't owe people shit. She doesn't owe the public shit. So yeah, she can move about the world with a lot of anonymity. And in fact, that's nice for her. But people know her through him. I don't know. I just think it's like a really interesting thought. And this is where I start to make the leap, right? Gay relationships have not been around for a long time. Like, yeah, okay, great, we can get married now. Yeah, okay, great, we can like do things that perhaps in the past were oftentimes like kept in the dark. So in many ways, we can now sort of like begin to sort of shape and shift gay culture as we see fit. And this doesn't just bleed into heterosexual relationships. Like this bleeds into heterosexual relationships a little bit, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. What I mean to say is with gay relationships, we can define what our boundaries are, right? And I think what happens is, and this goes back to like sometimes me feeling like gays are quite disgusting, and I'm gonna go into the explain that, like before you jump off into your keyboard, and like gay relationships disgust me sometimes because I feel like there's a lot of kind of like overlap between friends sharing their bodies with one another and then continuing to stay friends. Now, like, I don't like that. And I don't know why LeBron James's wife behaving the way she does is now making me connect this type of, like, I don't know why they're like in my brain like connecting. Maybe because it's all coming down to boundaries, right? Maybe that's what this conversation's about. I know for myself, I've been in relationships with dudes where there's been an overlap with someone in their friendship circle, and they've continued to stay friends, and I've just had to deal with it. And I am here to let you know that, like, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I don't fuck my friends. That's like my boundary, okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, and I don't know why I'm making this. It's boundaries. God, that's it. Boundaries. Let me have my coffee, and hopefully my brain will start working. I don't fuck my friends, so I don't expect to be in a dynamic or relationship, and I will not tolerate being in a relationship with someone else who does. That's it. I know myself. I'm a very jealous person. I can sometimes be a very possessive person. I have a lot of water sign placements in my star chart. My moon is Cancer. That is a very, a lot of water, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Pisces to a lesser extent. Pisces is more willing to accept. But I think that Cancer and Scorpios especially, I have a lot of Cancer and Scorpio placements in my star chart. So I know myself, and I know what my boundaries are. And I think oftentimes in gay relationships, we kind of want to pretend like we're above it all. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get jealous because being jealous denotes some semblance of insecurity, and insecurity, I don't want to look like that. Like, no, I will look like that. I'm happy to look like that. I'm fine looking insecure. If that's what it reads as, then I guess I'm insecure. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who fucked all their friends. Are you listening? I don't want to be in that type of relationship. And in fact, we sometimes forget with like the sort of sexualization of like friendships, thanks to, you know, pop culture and television shows and all this other bullshit that's making you think that it's okay to be this way. It is not okay to be this way. Do you think when Kim Kardashian was married to Kanye West, she was going to dinner with Chris Humphries? Do you think she was doing that? When she was, you know, dating Reggie Bush, was she going to dinner with Ray J? Do you think she was doing that? Of course she wasn't, because she's not an idiot. Do you think Beyonce allowed Jay-Z to go and hang out with female friends that he fucked? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So why are we as like gays, why are we tolerating this behavior? I think, again, it goes back to that, like, we get to rewrite the script and we get to write dynamics, but like, I don't think that there's anything, we try to like move away from heteronormativity. I don't want to move away from heteronormativity. I want a relationship that is respectful and there are boundaries, because like, I want to protect us. Do you understand? And those evil eyes are very real. They're very real. When you sleep with someone, that's no longer your friend, boo-boo. That's a lover, and you should be treated as such. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, now if I'm 5 years into a relationship and, you know, we're starting to get a little, not even bored, but like we're starting, like, that's a different conversation. If there's like other things going on, you know, you get with a person and they're young and they're still feeling like they want to kind of explore, that's a separate issue. But what I'm saying is, we cannot continue to allow ourselves to pretend to be okay with behaviors that we're not okay with. Okay? And if you're here and you're going through this like reconciliation, whether you're in a straight couple, a gay couple, a polyamorous, a monogamous, whatever, if you're a person and you're like, you know what, I just don't feel comfortable with this, I'm here to validate your feelings. You don't have to be fine with it. You actually can be, it's okay to be not okay. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't always have to pretend like everything's good and like whatever. And let me tell you something. If you have this boundary, it will work within your service to keep it up, because you're going to find someone that's going to respect you. They'll respect you and they'll be like, you know what? This is what their boundary is. This is what they're about. These, like, when two people sleep together and then it doesn't work out, and you continue to stay friends, that to me, like, those dynamics are the most toxic dynamics I've ever seen in my life. They are so toxic because there's always going to be one person being rejected. And there's always going to be one person that's going to wish that it had worked out and it didn't. And they're going to act out. Trust me, I know human nature. I know human nature so well. They are going to act out, and they are going to act out in ways that are going to try to sabotage your relationship. Yeah, and that's not very friendly. How can you have a friend in your life that's coveting what you got? You can't. You can't. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And you're delusional if you think that it does. And I'm not, like, I'm just talking from personal experience, right? I'm talking from personal experience, and I'm looking at LeBron and his wife, and like, yeah, okay, maybe I like Kobe more, and maybe I like MJ more, and maybe like all of this or that. That is a man that has his boundaries with his wife, and it's on display for the world to see. And I actually think that more power to him. Like, respect, dude. Like, I respect you so much for having that kind of boundary with your wife. Do I think it's a two-way street? Absolutely not. It's one way, because again, he's a public figure and his marketability is dependent on him being liked. So he has to take photos with his female fans, his non-female, you know, male fans. He has got to take photos with his fans, period, because that's part of the job. She doesn't. That's not her job, bro. It's not her job. you know? So I don't know. I'm like very interested in this, and I'm very interested in like these dynamics. Yeah. And it is a sign of respect. It is a sign of respect. Yeah. If I'm with a man or a woman and they're a public figure, I'm going to be okay with them taking photos with whoever because they're a public figure. Me, on the other hand, I don't have to do that. I'm not really a public figure. I mean, yeah, I am in the public eye, kind of, but I'm not a superstar playing a sport. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a well-known model that's like, and even then, like, you're not obligated to take photos with your fans either. But, you know, it works in your service to do so. Whatever. These are just my thoughts. And yeah, I don't fuck my friends. It's number one. Number two, once you cross boundaries, once you cross certain boundaries, with people, it's very difficult to go back. And furthermore, that's not your friend anymore. That's a lover. Do you understand? And if you are in a relationship and you got someone hanging out on the periphery, that's not like your shit is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah. And any person who is of high value and of high self-worth that respects themselves is not gonna put up with that. Sorry, this is the good side. This is the bad. No, they're not gonna put up with that. If you're a high worth individual and you have respect for yourself and you love yourself and you know what treatment you are deserving of and what treatment you are not deserving of, you're going to have that boundary and you're going to keep with it. You're going to keep with that boundary. So that's just my food for thought. And you know, any gay out there or straight person who's like dealing with this kind of issue, just let me tell you, I hear you, I see you. And it's okay. It's okay. You are not a weak person because you feel this way. You're not an insecure person, at least to me, because you feel this way. You're a human being and you're allowed to have your feelings and you're allowed to not be okay with certain types of things. You're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to express them to your partner. You're allowed. You're not. The human heart, one thing I know about it is that it's very complicated. It's not a straight line. It doesn't, you know, some things are very black and white, but like you're allowed to have complexity of thought. You're allowed to have complexity of feeling. Absolutely. Yeah. And if a person's continuing to keep people on the periphery of their life when they're in new relationships, and if they're in a new relationship with you, you gotta ask yourself why. You gotta ask yourself why. Yeah. I've seen it play out a lot of times in gay relationships and straight relationships. Like it doesn't work out. Yeah. It doesn't work out. Because, yeah, they'll sabotage it, trust me. And it's not gonna be obvious. It'll be with little comments. It'll be with little jabs. It'll be in like the subtlest of ways. And like those things add up over time. Yeah. Yeah. I don't give a shit what people think about me. And again, lastly, I'll leave you with this. I am this way because I live this way. I'm not saying these things because I'm a hypocrite. If I live by this value, this is how I'm living. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have people in my orbit that I've slept with that I keep around. No, I don't. No. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're, yeah. What I mean to say is I'm not a hypocrite. Like, I live this way, therefore I am this way. I have this boundary because I am this way. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not holding anybody up to a standard that I don't hold myself to. Does that make sense? I'm not saying this is my boundary and I don't like that, but then I'm living a different kind of life. No, 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 no. I live this life, therefore I expect this life. And this is probably why I'm single. This is probably why I've been single for so long. Because, yeah, like, I have these really, like, I hold myself to a very high standard. I'll just put it that way. Therefore, when I get into a relationship, I'm gonna hold that person also to a very high standard. There's nothing wrong with having standards in your life, bruh. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, maybe my standards are too high. Maybe I expect too much, but I expect a lot from myself also. I'm not a person that's like, yeah. I'm not holding any person to a standard that I don't hold myself already to. Like, I hold myself to this high standard, therefore I hold others to the same standard. And if you're going to continue to pursue a relationship with a person that you've slept with, then I, by God, am allowed to do the same. So you better not start having problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, there better not be any problems starting to brew, and your reasoning for being upset is unjustified. Because, like, if you're keeping a person in your orbit that you've slept with and you're going to parties together and you're hanging out and you're doing dinners, then I'm allowed to have phone conversations and do whatever it is that I want to do with the person that I've, like, it's got to be a two-way street. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, this video is really long and convoluted. I hope that it validates you. I hope it validates your feelings. If you're out there and you're trying to reconcile this and you're trying to pretend to be okay with something that you're not okay with, it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to not be okay. Okay? Truly. Anyway, those are my 2 points. Purchase my body workouts. I've got my nutritional supplements coming out soon. We'll catch up. We'll catch up next week. I'll do my weekly videos. Maybe I'll do like a tutorial next time. Hopefully this is usable. Keep praying for my Kennedy her. I'm just like, yeah. I've been fight or flight these past 4 years, so I'm relaxing. And I'm like going to very deliberately choose my next step moving forward. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the past 4 years it has been like, do this job, get that job, do this, do that. Quick, pay rent, pay this, pay that. And there hasn't been any careful thought and planning. So I'm taking the time now to really sit with myself and to think and to plan out my next steps in my life. Okay? Okay. That's what I'm up to. That's what I'm up to. Okay, goodbye.